First, let me shout out Bill Dixon for sending me this story. And this is probably going to be the last update as it comes to this John Alleda thing. Now, if y'all remember, I had just recently did a video talking about Jonathan Alleda is very arrogant. And it looks like his arrogance might have paid off for him, because he really felt in his heart, and his attorneys felt in their heart, or lack of it, because there probably isn't a heart there, that he was not guilty of what he was being accused of. Well, based on this article that was sent to me, and to be honest, when I saw the article and I was looking, because of how close the dates were with the last video I did, I thought maybe they were just late to putting out a story about it. But this is actually the latest, and it was released on June 18th, 2019. It says, Miami officer acquitted of attempted manslaughter in shooting of caregiver. So that pretty much means that this guy is not going to have any charges against him for the attempted murder of Charles Kinsey. Now remember, this is the same guy that when Charles Kinsey asked, why did he shoot him? His response was, I don't know. Let's all not forget that. That was the response that he gave. It was even on camera, on video, you could actually hear him clear as day when he said that. He said he did not know. He didn't say the usual, I fear for my life. He said, I didn't know. And to be quite honest, he was being honest. Because many of those cops who do that stuff to black people or unarmed black people, they love to run with that fear for my life shit. But usually it's because they don't know why they did it, or they just got trigger happy because they felt like they could kill a black person. Many of them have a hard on when they get to shoot us. Let me get into this story. A North Miami police officer has been found guilty of culpable negligence, but was acquitted by a jury on 2 more serious felonies in connection with a 2016 shooting that wounded the caretaker of an autistic man. Officer Jonathan Alleda was found not guilty of 2 counts of attempted manslaughter in the shooting of Charles Kinsey, who was caring for Arnaldo Rios Soto, a severely autistic man who had wandered away from his group home for mentally disabled adults. Rios was carrying a tiny toy truck that Alleda maintained he mistook for a firearm, even though officers at the trial testified that radio communications had clarified that the toy was not a gun. So he was the only one who felt that that toy truck was a gun. All the other officers that was with him, or anyone that was connected to that case, knew it wasn't a firearm, but he was the only one that felt that it was. The July 18, 2016 daytime shooting drew national attention amid a rash of police killings of unarmed black men. Alleda was one of 6 officers who responded to a call of a possibly suicidal man. A motorist passing by had called 911 to report a man with a possible gun pointing to his head. According to the investigator affidavit, the officers had expected to confront a suicidal man armed with a gun. Alleda testified that when he encountered Kinsey and Soto in the street, he thought Rios was holding Kinsey hostage. The officer who fired 3 times said he had intended to hit Soto. Now, here's the thing. We all saw that video. It said he attempted to hit Soto, who was the patient. But he shot Charles Kinsey 3 times, which means he had to have shot Charles Kinsey, and he had to have known where he was shooting at. So he already knew who was the person they were going for, because they said that the guy was holding what looked to be a gun, which turned out to be a toy truck. So he was the only one with an object in his hand. But you shot the caregiver 3 times. If he had shot 1 time, then we could have said it was an accident, but he shot him 3 times. He shot him once, he was already down, and shot him 2 more times. And he claims he doesn't know why he shot him. Explain to me again why the hell he's not in jail? And why? Let me get ahead of myself. Let me keep going. In cell phone video from the scene that went viral, Kinsey is shown shot in the leg and laying on the ground next to his patient with his hands in the air. It appeared he was screaming for mercy or for help or something. In my mind, the white male had a gun. Alleda testified on Monday referring to Rios. I couldn't hear what the black man was saying. In my mind, I thought he might get shot. So you thought that the patient had the gun, but you shot the black guy. Tell me how in the hell is he even able to be a cop? Because apparently his vision is all the way off if he got the two people confused. Alleda was first tried in March, but jurors deadlocked on 3 of the 4 charges. He could spend up to a year behind bars, which really doesn't mean nothing, for the misdemeanor count of culpable negligence, according to the Miami Herald. But since the charge is minor, Alleda might be able to still remain a police officer. Are we even in the least bit surprised by that last part? That's why they wanted to keep going, because he wanted to maintain his job. So they are about to put a man who apparently is blind as a bat, and I'm using that loosely because I highly doubt he's blind. He knew what he was doing. And they still keep leaving out the part about him saying he doesn't know why he shot Charles Kinsey. He said he did not know why he did it. This is an incompetent individual who does not need to be a cop whatsoever. He doesn't even need to be holding a firearm. And up to a year in jail just means that nothing beyond a year. It could just, hell, it could be like John Vandermoor and he could spend a day in jail, for all we know. But the thing is, he's going to accept this now because he'll still be able to maintain being a cop, which is what he wanted. He couldn't accept the other ones because he would have most likely got fired as a cop and had to do more time behind bars. But this right here, another slap on the wrist. But I'm not even in the least bit surprised. But just another day in America for us. And in Florida, might I add. But even when I talked about that update, talking about him being arrogant, I called it then. I said he wants to have it where those felony charges were dropped. Those are the ones they were really trying to get rid of. That's why they're settling for the culpable negligence one, because that's the lowest of the charges, the low tier one. They said, so go ahead and do this little bit of time behind bars, and when you get out, you'll still have your job. You'll still have your badge and your gun and your desk. We'll just have to slowly move you back on in. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one.